Hello! Ito na nga po yung bago nating RPMS or Classroom Observation Tool RPMS for Proficient Teachers, Teacher 1 to 3, in the time of COVID-19 pandemic. So ngayong school year 2021 and 2022, ito na po yung ating COT na gagamitin para sa ating teaching observation. Mapa-online po yan o modular na learning delivery. So, familiar naman po tayo dito sa COT tool. Yun nga lang po, nagkaroon po ng panibago at nadagdagan po yung mga indicators. Kung last year, 3 lamang po yung indicators, ngayon po ay meron na po itong siyam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tapos yung second page na po, nandiyan yung 6, 7, 8, 9 indicators. So, ganun pa rin po, meron po tayong dalawang observation. Ayan, nandito na tayo sa last indicator para sa COT ng Teacher 1, 2, 3 para sa ating in time of the COVID-19 pandemic na COT School Year 2021-2022. Yan, sa first page, natapos na natin i-discuss itong indicator 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sumunod, dito naman sa second page, yung indicator na merong may mga asterisk, tapos na natin may 6, 7, 8, at ito na po yung ating last, yung may 3 asterisk, kapareho ng number 8. So, adopt and use culturally appropriate teaching strategies to address the needs of the learners from indigenous groups, yung mga IP. So, para makakuha tayo ng 7 na score, kinakailangan well-guided tayo sa ating RPMS. So, tingnan ulit natin yung description, yung mga clarification. So, indicator number 9. Adopt and use culturally appropriate teaching strategies to address the needs of learners from indigenous group. So, kinakailangan, mayroon pa rin ditong word na extensive para makakuha ng 7 na score. The teacher employs extensive repertoire of strategies to create a learner-centered environment that addresses the learning needs of the individual and group of learners from indigenous groups. So, mayroon po yung dalawang features of practice. Ano po yun? The teacher demonstrate a wider understanding of a culture-based education. Number 2, teachers' instructional strategies respond to individual group of learners' cultural background, thus creating an environment where learners feel equally involved. So, para magkaroon pa ng clarification, sino po ba yung mga learners from indigenous groups? So, according po yan sa RA 8371, IPRA, people who have under claims of ownership since time immemorial, occupied, possess, and utilize ancestral territories, shared common bonds of language, custom, traditions, and other unique cultural traits. Sila po yung mga indigenous groups, mga IP natin. And yung teaching strategies, ano po yan? So, according to DO32 Series 2015, in the context of IPED, teaching strategies are embedded in the indigenous cultural communities, or ICC, Indigenous Learning System, ILS, which is an ICC system of education and succeeding generation of youth into the community cultural system. Tapos yung learning needs naman na tinatawag, according to UNESCO year 1992, comprise both essential learning tools, literacy, oral expression, numeracy, and problem solving, and the basic learning content, yung knowledge, skills, values, and attitude required by human beings to be able to survive, to develop their full capacities to live and work in dignity, to participate fully in development, to improve the quality of their lives, to make informed decisions, and to continue learning. So, yan. So, meron din ditong clarification patungkol sa culture-based education. Pag sinabi natin culture-based, according pa rin yan sa DO32 Series 2015, enclosure page 4, an education that is grounded in the context of the indigenous community's life, recognizes their indigenous knowledge systems and practices, also known as IKSP, and is inclusive of their cultural perspective. Yung contextualization naman po, alam naman natin yung contextualization, the educational process of relating curriculum to a particular setting, situation, or area application to make the competencies relevant, meaningful, and useful to all learners. Distinguish into localization and indigenous or indigenization. So, according pa rin po yan sa DO32 Series 2015 Enclosure, page number 6 naman po. So, same pa rin po mula indicator 1 to 8 hanggang 9. Pag sabi natin variety, marami po yan. A range of different strategies employed required by the learning situation. Pag extensive naman po, wide and comprehensive range of strategies para makakuha po tayo ng 7 na score. Yan, tandaan po natin yan. Dapat malawak, nauunawa ang maigi yung ating pagtuturo. The somewhat appropriate, minimal degree of appropriateness. Yan po yan. 3 yung score niya. Tapos, partially appropriate, moderate degree of appropriateness. So, lagi lang po natin tatandaan na mula dun sa indicator 6, 7, 8, 9, under po ng table, mapapansin po natin, meron po dyan naka-note na asterisk. Zoom lang po natin. So, dun po sa indicator number 9, meron po yan 3 asterisk, ibig sabihin set A. This COT-RPMS indicator supplements set A in the means of verification or yung MOB of Objective 10 in the RPMS tool for proficient teachers. Yan. Teacher broadcaster. Diba? Napakadali lang po intindihin itong RPMS natin para sa school year 2021-2022 dahil kahit may mga symbol lang po dyan, ng mga asterisk, mayroon po yung clarification and description dyan sa ating binigay na pang-explain para higit po nating matandaan. So, yun lamang po ang ating COT para sa ating teacher 1 to 3. Meron po itong 9 indicators. Tapos tandaan natin dito sa ilalim, sabi dito, yung no stands for not observed. So, dapat ma-aim natin na ang ating score ay nasa 7, wala dito sa no, at hindi rin dito sa 3. Para mataas yung score natin. So, sabi dito, pangalawa, do not accomplish if the ratio opted to present set A is supplementary material as means of verification, MOB objective 7 and 8. Ito po yun yung sinasabi ko. Ayan. In the RPMS tool for proficient teachers or RPMS tool for teacher broadcaster. Sabi naman dito pag 3 yung asterisk. Do not accomplish if the ratio opted to present set B teacher reflected form as means of verification of objective 9 and or 10 in the RPMS tool for proficient teachers of RPMS tool for teacher broadcaster. So, syempre, mahirap naman nga iyon kung maipakita nila kung paano yung maintain learning environment that nurture, inspire learners, participate, cooperate and collaborate with continued learning, yung apply range of successful strategies that maintain learning environment that motivates learner to work productively by assuming responsibility by their own learning, as in design, adapt, implement teaching strategies that are responsive to learners with disabilities, gifted, and talents. Kasi panghuli, yung adapt and use culturally appropriate teaching strategies to address the needs of the learners from indigenous people. Kaya po yung may mga naka-asterisk para manote po yan. So, alam naman po yan ng mga observer. So, kapag kayo ay nagkaroon ng technical assistance na, ayan, pagkatapos ng inyong observation, mag-uusap kayo ni observer, kung sino nag-observe sa inyo. Tapos, kung ano man yung mga other comments niyan, so, yun yung gagawin natin para ma-improve natin sa susunod nating COT. Lalo-lalo na kung pang COT number 1 nyo pa lamang po yun. Para kung ano man yung mga mabababang score na binigay niya dyan, mababago pa natin yun para sa COT number 2. Mas may improve natin yung ating pagtuturo. Tapos yan magkakaroon na ng pirmahan. Ibig sabihin, nag-agree kayo para doon. So yun lamang po para sa ating mga proficient teachers. Tapos, inote lang din natin dito yung rubric level summary. Alam naman po natin yung mga description na ito. Pag yung number 3 na score, ayan po, kita ko lamang po dito Yung 3 na score dyan, kapag organizing, the teacher demonstrate a limited range of loosely associated pedagogical aspect of indicator. Yan po yung pinaka mababang level. Pero kung 4 naman yung inyong nakuhang score, yan, medyo tumaas-taas naman. Developing na si teacher. The teacher demonstrate a range of associated pedagogical aspect of the indicator that sometimes are aligned with the learner's developmental needs. Tapos, kapag medyo gumaling pa, 5 yung score, ikaw ay teacher na applying na. Nasa applying na level na. Ibig sabihin, the teacher demonstrate a range of associated pedagogical aspect of the indicator that usually are aligned with the learner's developmental needs. Tapos, pag medyo mataas-taas yung nakuha mong score, 6 yung na-checkan, ibig sabihin, consolidating na po si teacher. Uses well-connected pedagogical aspect of the indicator that consistently are aligned with student develop and support students to be successful learners. And yung panghuli, yung 7 na score, yung pinaka-highest, yan, integrating na level. Ibig sabihin, the teacher uses well-connected pedagogical aspect of the indicator to create an environmental that address individual and group learning goals. So yun lamang po para sa Classroom Observation Tool RPMS for Proficient Teachers, yung mga teacher 1, 2, 3 in the time of COVID-19 pandemic school year 2021-2022. So good luck for our COT 1 or COT number 2. Thank you.